Hello. So I recorded this video last night, and today when I was intended to upload it to YouTube, I realized that I recorded no audio. That's great. Anyway, today morning we'll be building an application. Okay, it's still pretty funny. Yeah, but we'll be building an application that uses the power of regular expressions to find and draw attention to objects of interest. Let's begin by looking at the application and its complete state. If I run the application, you notice we have two windows. The back one is our console, and the front one is its graphic user interface. Very simple, very straightforward. It's called search regex. REGEX stands for regular expression, so search regular expression. We notice we have two buttons, a load button and a process button that we are unable to interact with at the moment. We also notice we have some text down here. This is fittingly called a text edit or text area. If we read it, we notice that it says the following: load a file using the load button, process that file with the process button. Now, I will let you take a few seconds to just absorb everything I've said, and then I will actually go ahead and show you how we can use it. And now let's hope that this time, that when I complete recording, it will be done with sound. Let me just see, where is it? It should be here, right? And that one. Okay, great. So let's go load. And I know where the file is, so I'll just traverse to the file location. And it should be here under that one. And it's called numbers and emails, okay. If you notice in the background on my console window, it says file has been loaded and is ready for processing. And within the context of the file, we see this is my example file. It contains a few email addresses such as azura@gmail.com and no_1@nowhere.nothing. This file also contains a few strings of numbers of varying formats, such as here's a number, here's a number, here's another number, here's another number, here is the last number, and at the end we have a surprise email. If you notice, these numbers correspond with various formats of phone numbers. Once we have loaded our file successfully, we can process it, and would you look at that? All the emails and all the numbers have been highlighted using a bold format. And we can see what we can use this for, right? Let's say we are given some large text file or just a large file in general, and we are required to find certain patterns. All we would have to do is simply change the regular expressions we are using to match those patterns. And then we'll be able to process the file and find all needed matches. Alright, that's cool. Now, let's get to building the application. The first thing I'll do is I will get rid of all of this. Just doing some tidying up, and then I will speak again. And I'll delete this one, remove file, delete file permanently, okay. Save, alright, and this one as well. Hopefully this won't cause a naming conflict. Let me get rid of all of that, let me go here. Okay, it's gone, that's great. Let me just do a Control B and see if everything's okay. Okay, great. So I should be able, security scan required, let's see, scan 10 seconds. Okay, I'll do that later. And I'll add new, and I'll create a C++ class, and the class will be called search dialog. Named because I'll be inheriting QDialog. Let me take a few seconds and talk about something important before we go ahead. Notice that I'm using QtCreator and C++. We can replicate this application using Python and QtCreator. Do not feel restricted to using my preferred language. It's important for us to learn how to build. The specific tools are not as important. Alright, great. I have my class, and I can begin building. The first thing I will do in my header file is I will do some forward declarations. So forward declarations. So typically we will do something like an include Q push button, right? If we want access to the widget and functionality of the Q push button. Forward declaration says, okay, hold on a minute. Instead of using include, do a class and reference the class you are going to use. So in my case, a Q push button. Now what does this do? It makes compile time slightly faster. Now obviously the larger your file grows, the longer compile time will take. So by using forward declaration, you can save on a little time. Q document and a class of QTextCursor. Now this is not a beginner tutorial, so I will not be holding your hand and going through everything. If you're unfamiliar with QtCreator or if you lack basic programming knowledge, you can check out my channel for other videos, where I explain QtCreator and majority of widgets in more detail. But if you're unfamiliar with the Qt text edit, if we hover and click on a widget and we hit F1, it will open up a dialog in the right hand corner that shows us details about the class. Well, it's more of a little browser, isn't it? And here we go. The QTextEdit class provides a widget that is used to edit and display plain and rich text. We next have QTextDocument. It holds formatted text, so it's a big container for text. And QTextCursor offers an API to access and modify QText documents. Basically, QTextCursor allows us to do this. See how I'm highlighting things? That's what it allows us to do. But it also allows us to further take that functionality and add the ability to modify data. I will have no signals, but I will have two public slots. I will have void load data, and this should load in my text file. What happened here? And I will have a void of process data. It's not a video of mine if my dog does not bark. Private, and here I will have quite a few members. Q push button, I need my load button obviously. I will go with a process button. Remember earlier when we saw the widget, we noticed that there was an area with text. That is the text edit. QTextCursor and cursor. Alright, let's see. Load button, a process button, a text edit, a document, and finally a cursor. Alright, that should be good. Let's see. Alright, let me go to my implementation file. And this is where we will implement all our members and methods. But before that, we obviously have to do now our necessary include statements. It seems my spelling in the morning is not very good. QTextCursor. Now I need my layout capabilities, so I will include two types of box layouts. Q vertical box layout. And include Q file, because I'll be working with files. Q file dialog, because I'll be needing to open a file. QTextStream because I'll be reading in a file stream. QFont because I need to alter the font. Let me save this. Let me just check something. I can stop this, but I can't pause it. That's unfortunate. Okay, anyway. QFont. Let's do QInclude QTextCursor. Right, and I think I did my text cursor above. Yeah, I did. Okay, this is redundant then. Let's do QText char format. Regular expressions, aptly named Q regular expressions, and finally QDebug. Okay, we have all our necessary includes, and this is the part that I will just do some fancy copy and paste because this is one thing I do not want to write. All right, let's create our first row. So row 1 in our layout is a load button, which is equal to a new Q push button. If I could spell Q push. Now initially, to prevent user input error, we will set our load button, my mistake, we will set our process button to disabled. And just so we're clear, we will set our load button to be the default button. Now, instead of directly adding my widget after another, I'll actually add spacing just so that my widgets are further apart. And process button. Great. Let me now create my second row, so row 2. And it will be my text edits. It went from bad to worse. This, there we go. Alright. Let me initially just set some text, which is as follows. Button. Let's do a new line. Check. No. Cross-reference. Here's, let me take match. Nope. Find pattern matches. Using the process button. Okay, that seems good. And then we go text edit. Dot set read only true, because I do not want a user to interact with this file and change it. That will introduce an error. Second row is equal to new Q horizontal box layout. And we'll do second row dot. And this one will just be text edit. Okay, great. We'll now set up our signal and start functionality. Connect a load button. If I could spell load button clearly. Great R was too hard for me. Signal have been clicked. In response, I want this to run the slot of load data. Great. Then one more, I will do the process button. No, process button. Great. Also, the signal have been clocked, have been clicked this with a slot of process data. One loads in my text file and the other should process it, and by process I mean cross-reference check for patterns, Q regular expression patterns. Now my main display. And aptly named main layout Q vertical box layout, and we will do main layout, and this time add layout first row and main layout. Okay. Now that we have these two set, let us actually ensure that our dialog is made aware by doing set layout, main layout, and doing some tidy up. Set window title, search regular expression. That sounds good. And then we'll do set fixed height. Let's do size hint dot height, and let's do plus. Let's do 100. I'll then resize it just so that I can alter my width by doing a 500, and then height again plus 100. This line may be a little redundant here. Resize. Something wrong. Oh, okay, I see what happened there. There we go. Okay. Now we have two more functions to write and we'll be done. Those two functions are our slots. Search dialog. Load data. And we have a Q string of file name. Now let's hope that I remember to put a link to the GitHub repo that has this. Get open file name, not too hard. We pass in this. We'll pass in a caption. We'll only allow opening a text file. And we will start in the current directory. Q directory, current path. And now our filter. Text files. They should really add a dark mode in Qt. And then we'll actually aptly pass, if you notice we have a regular expression here. This one matches for anything that starts with, well, it matches any file as long as that file ends with .txt. Alright. Now, if for whatever reason we fail, so if file name .is empty, in that case we'll write out a message to the user by using Q message box information. We'll pass in this file error. Select a different. That's not different. That's not different. Different file. That's different. Okay. And simply we will return to exit the function. Else the file is not empty. Woohoo! We have a party now. Q file, file, and we'll associate that or pass it in file name. We'll then do again if for whatever reason, if not file dot open Q input output device read only. To ensure we don't have any funny business going on here, we will again write a message to the user. But this time more of a warning because whoa, what's happening? this unable to process file. And we'll do file.toErrorString. File error string. There we go. All right. What is happening to my typing in the morning? Return. Let me put that here. Okay. QText stream. I'm pretty sure I have to set. Pretty sure I only have to set the method set read only once, but just in case, and by just in case I mean because I already have it done in my GitHub repo, I'm just using that as my reference. Not decode, document. Document is equal to new text document. Document is equal to text edit dot document. And then finally we do cursor dot new QText cursor. If this autocorrect gets something wrong one more time, qdebug, and simply put file has been loaded. And we will just print out a new line. Now, we have loaded in a file, so now we can set the process button to be enabled. Great. We now have our last function to do, which is our process data button. Process data. If I complete this video and I find that the video has no sound, no audio, I am going to be really annoyed. QRegular expression re.setPattern. If you aren't familiar with what a regular expression is, there are many videos out there, but simply put, let me think of a simple way to make this clear. A regular expression is a method we can use to define a language. It is a language defining method. So let's say I wanted you to write a language that matches all words that only have A. So the language of all words of A. How would you match it? You would do this, A. And there's a regular expression. This only matches one thing, A. What if I wanted you to match all A's, so 0 to infinity? Well, you would have A clean closure. And what A clean closure states is the following. It says this is a pattern that matches 0 or infinite number of A's. And by 0, I mean the empty string. A's. So AA, AAA, AAAAAA, or just the empty string. And that's all a regular expression is. Another way of thinking about it is just a method we use to create objects that are used to match patterns. Does that sound weird? It is a method that we use to define patterns that are then used to match patterns? No, let's try that again. A regular expression can be thought of as an object that is used to match patterns. There we go. That's much better. Now, this is the most annoying part, and I refuse to write it all for the third time, so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to copy it, and I will explain it. Boom. Okay, great. This essentially matches 3 digits followed by a space, and then 3 digits followed by a space, and then 4 digits. Our next one will then match 3 digits followed by a space, and then 7 digits. Now, next one will then match 10 digits. As we see, these are just different patterns to match different formats of a phone number. The interesting one is this one. This one matches an email. I tried my best. This should be the one that works. If there's one that's already been defined somewhere in the ether, then maybe it'd be better to use that one. But I'm pretty sure my one is a great match. Ain't that funny? Match iterator, which is equal to re.globalMatch, because I'm considering the entire document, so cursor.document. And I can't do that. I have to grab the Q string, so I do a .to plain text. And as long as I have a match in my iterator, so match iterator, nope, iterator dot has next. As long as that is a reality, then I will do a Q regular expression match, and I will call it match, and it will be match iterator dot next. We'll advance it dot next. So now autocorrect doesn't want to show up, hey? Okay, and now we can just move the cursor. So cursor dot set position match dot captured dot I have a delivery coming today. Let's hope it gets here before I go to the gym. Cursor dot set position. We'll do match dot captured end, and this time we will keep our anchor in its current position. No, it's set font weight, right? Yeah. Let's do something like 69, just no reason why. Q font, and we'll do font. Now that I'm writing this name, this just may be redundant. Set bold true. I know what I want to do. I want to format.set font, and I'll pass in font, but seems redundant. Cursor.set char format, and finally we'll pass in format. And that will then update my text editor each time. QDebug. Alright, and that should be the end of it. And I'll add a new line. Control B, let's see any errors. Here we go. So there's an error here. I am missing. Oh, because that, yeah. And control run. Oh. Of course. How foolish of me. Search dialog. Nope, search dialog. There we go. And I'll create an instance of my search dialog. Remember, class name should start off with a capital letter. This here is bad. Not bad, it's just not good. And I'll call it dialog. You know, we have conventions. We should use them. Start your class names off with a capital letter. Start your function names and your variable name, so the lowercase letter following a camel case, and Q search dialog, Q new search dialog, a camel case format, dialog.show, Control V, Control R, and there we go. It looks a little neater, doesn't it, with more space. Load a file using the load button. Okay, I know where the file is. By the way, this program is not dependent on the file. As long as it is a text file with numbers of the format that match to a phone number and email addresses, it will work. This is my example file. It has been loaded. Now when we process it, I get an error. Interesting. Let's see. Which means that the process button. I have my pattern. While match iterator has next, Q regular expression match, move anchor, keep anchor, format set font weight, Q font set bold, set true, text edit. That's interesting. Why did that happen? Let's make sure everything is right. So it's a logic error somewhere. Something is acting in a manner in which it should not. Heresy. Q file dialog, Q magic box, Q text stream, Q font, Q text char format, Q regular expression, Q debug. Alright. It's not that clearly. Set disable first row. Can't be the manner in which it is done. Could be this. Open text file, Q directory, current path, text files. All files that are text, all files, alright. So it's not this because the file is being loaded. It could be the signal and slots. Where are you, signals and slots? Process data. So process button, the signal have been clicked. This process data. Process data. Oh, here we go. re.setMatch and then re.globalMatch. Let's see. To plain text. I know my pattern is right. Let's do a Control R and see what's going on here. Load. So it's not running at all. That's interesting. Search dialog. I hope it's not due to past conflicts when I remove the file. Process data and process data. Let's just see if the function runs at all. Let's do a qdebug in function and a new line. Control B. Oh, yep. So that should actually be a function call. Control B, Control R. Load in my file. This is interesting. Who would have thought? And I hit process in function. Okay, that's good. It is actually working. So what's been wrong is this part. Q regular expression, match iterator, re.global match cursor document to plain text. While my match iterator has next, Q regular expression match iterator dot next, match.captured start, match.captured end. Q text char format.set weight, Q font font.set bold, format.set format, set font, cursor set char format, text edit, set document. Let's see if I actually function that do in function while loop. Let's do a load. This is the fatigue getting to me. Open. No. And now when we hit process, oh, so I never went into the while loop. Do I have a Q regular expression match iterator here? Zzz, not needed there. So this could be the problem. My pattern's not the problem, clearly. Let's see. If I come down here, let me copy this re.setPattern. Let's copy that. Paste it in there. Q regular expression match iterator is re.global match. Text edit document and cursor. Text edit. Let's make sure I initialize my values correctly. Cursor is equal to new text cursor, and this should be the problem here. It should be this, because essentially I am not passing it a constructor value. Control R, load, and boom, and then boom, and then hey, would you look at that? And there we go. All the right in the world. That was good. Alright, done. This may seem like a simple application, but consider the value and the power of regular expressions. Pattern recognition is very important. You may never know when you may need to match something. So here's the thing. Assume we are given a large file and we need to search that file for certain patterns that reoccur. All we would have to do is adjust our regular expression pattern and then run the application. And we would get all the matches highlighted using a bold format. And hey, that's it for today. Bye bye.